Hi Aquarius, my sun sign brothers and sisters, welcome to your March 2023 Astro-Tarot with me, Raphael from Reydiant Reality. It's an absolute pleasure to have you. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you so much for joining me. So, these are for your sun, moon and ascendant sign, although if you're only going to watch one, and if you're starting with any sign, it should absolutely be your ascendant sign. The reason being, these are going to be the most accurate. Remember, I'm incorporating a lot more astrology now, and so for that reason, you want to check your ascendant sign first, then your sun, then your moon, depending. And also remember, they are general readings. Not everything's going to resonate with everybody, and that is just fine. You should always use your own discernment. Before we start, as always, I would like to bless my decks of cards with all forms of love, light, peace, prosperity and abundance. And I pray that the messages that come through are ultimately clear and concise. They help you on your path to your highest vibrational good. So, my fellow Aquarians, I'm going to pop these to the side. Ooh, it's all going on outside. All right, so for March of 2023, first and foremost, we're going to be looking at the biggest transits of this month. And this is a fast, powerful, energetic, dynamic month. And we're starting with our ancient ruling planet of Saturn moving out of the sign of Aquarius into the sign of Pisces. So for you, my dear Aquarians, this is moving into your second house of money, finances, and resources. Now, Saturn, boundaries, structure, hard work, discipline, focus, effort, refinement that comes over time. The way that I see Saturnian energy, it's kind of like, you know, that piece of glass that get like that broken bit of glass from a glass bottle that is in the sea. And over time it rushes, you know, the waves bring it backward and forward and backward and forward. And eventually it turns into this beautiful sort of soft kind of thing, right? That energy of refinement, that is Saturn. Now, Saturn can be limitations, restrictions. You know, we saw Saturn when Saturn came into Aquarius. What did we see? We saw, you know, lockdown. So I know a lot of you are probably thinking, oh my gosh, it's coming into my second house of money, finances, resources, and self-worth. Yes, there may be an element over the next 2.5 years. Remember, this transit starts on March the 7th. Over the next 2.5 years, you may have to work harder for your money. You might have to put in more hard effort, more hard graft. You may need to be more present with what you're doing when it comes to your finances. You might have to limit your spending to become more responsible with the money that you're earning. Okay, all very, very possible potentials. However, Saturn also has a crystallizing energy where it refines things, our approach to things, absolutely, through wisdom, Saturn. And so therefore, the way that this might show up is that it sees you getting really serious about your self-worth. It sees you getting really serious about using the money that you have or the money that you have access to greater effect. So maybe you start to say, okay, what can I do with my finances in the long term? Saturn, what can I do with my finances, second house, money, resources, over the long distance? Where can I put my money that it's going to last or that it's going to grow or appreciate over time? This is about playing the long game when it comes to your resources from now on, guys. Okay, so pay attention to this. The other thing as well, this might see you really starting to look at where you do or don't value yourself, your time, what you put out into the world. Very, very possible. What I also like about this for you is this could see, you know, what you do with your money could really appreciate over time, as they say. So let's have a look what the cards have to say. You've got the Empress, beautiful, with the Page of Swords, okay, and the King of Cups. So getting really serious about your finances first and foremost, right? So your money, the Empress, because Empress is Venus, so that's the money. With the Page of Swords, getting a bit more serious about it, having financial conversations, potentially with somebody that can help you or get you to see things in a different way. Maybe somebody that's helping you kind of see where you emotionally spend, where you're reckless with your money. Page of Swords with the King of Cups. Where do you emotionally spend? Where do you try to fill a void or a gap within you? with money, with resources, with buying things, right? This could be somebody that genuinely loves you and cares for you, says something to you that really kind of hits home, and they say, listen, you know, you're spending your money on all of this shit, and what are you getting out of it? You know, what is the deeper problem here? Saturn is very much about drilling or honing into the severity, doing the hard work. So this might be where you start to do some work with a therapist or a counselor. Maybe you start to maybe you start to really get clear on what your money blocks are, right? Saturn moving into your finance house can cause money blocks. If you haven't had one yet, an abundance block smasher session with myself. It's energy work, it's tarot, it's a look at you and your money blocks and smashing those fuckers up, right? Getting them out of there. If you're going to do this kind of work, hey, listen, I'm open. Shameless self-promotion there, I know, but check it out. There's a link in the description box below for you to have a look and see if maybe that feels like something you want to do. Now, that being said, who is the King of Cups? Usually a water sign male, Pisces, Cancer, or Scorpio. Somebody that has those kind of watery energies to them. And because you've got the Empress here, it is somebody that genuinely cares for you, but they could point something out, Page of Swords, they could share something or say something to you that really, you know, sort of around this transit or from this month onwards, because it starts on the 7th of March, it's going to go on for 2.5 years. Maybe they say something to you that really makes you think like, whoa, you know what, actually, yes, I need to get a handle of my finances and my resources. Now, the beauty of this transit is that it will be hard work. You may have to work harder for your money. It might feel like it's like, oh gosh, you know, I'm having to put in 3 times as much effort. What Capricorn can teach you in this regard, because Saturn's just about to move out of their 2nd house and into their 3rd, Saturn's going to teach you how to live on less, right? How to get more out of the money that you've got and how to live on less, how to spend less. And so what you're doing is building up really good habits over the next 2.5 years to really support your financial outlook and blessings. Now, Pluto, the Lord of transformation, destruction, the Lord of Plutonic power, the Lord of power itself. And Pluto is an energy of revealing the pure potential in something. It's going to dip its head into the sign of Aquarius on the 23rd of March. It's just going to look in, right? It's going to sit at 0 degrees, and then for about it's about 3-ish months. Late June, early July, it's going to come back into the sign of Capricorn to finish up its business. And then in January of 2023, it's going to come into the sign of Aquarius for good. This next 3 months, and certainly the day that it moves into your sign, it's a heads up. You're getting a glimpse into the future, which is what the star card and therefore Aquarius actually represents, right? Nobody does future orientation better than our sign. Period. Yes, that includes Sagittarius. Yes, that includes Gemini. Nobody does each sign has one thing that they do better than anybody else. Future orientated vision is the realm of Aquarius, right? It's what we do better than anybody else. We spot those trends. We see those big things before they're even big, right? It's just a gift that we have. Now, Pluto is also a magnetic energy where you can draw things to you. Now, that being said, it is intense energy, right? Pluto, there's nothing fluffy or light or light-hearted about the Plutonian energy, right? So for that reason, it is going to bring more intensity. It might make you more serious. It might make you more focused, more determined. It might draw or attract to you things, people, situations, and experiences that are more intense by their very nature. But you yourself, whether this is your sun, your moon, or your ascendant, are becoming more magnetic. And so you can, I always say this, anything that happens in the 1st house or in your sign, you're not in control of it, but you do get a modicum of sway to say, okay, look, you know what, I'm hosting you. You are one of the gods, right? Because the planets in the ancient world were the gods. You are the god. I'm hosting you, right? I'm going to give you everything that you need to be happy, to be all the rest of it that you can be. Here's how I would like this to happen for me. tell me what we need to get into a bargain or a dialogue, right? This is about being a more active participant in your fate rather than just kind of saying, oh no, Pluto's coming into my sign and yeah, right? We want to be a bit more proactive than that. Now, the fact that it's coming into your sign, like I said, can make you more magnetic. It can make you more serious. It can, really, like, yeah, it could just bring so many marvelous things your way. And it can make you more attractive. And for that reason, you just really want to be open to the possibilities. And also know Saturn in your second is making you work harder for your money, but that Plutonian element in your sign is giving you the ability to go really deep into things, right? That get into that minutia, to really research stuff to the nth degree. Now, for this, you've got the Chariot card. Don't be surprised if some of these connections have an overseas or international feel. You've got the Queen of Cups. So that is literally a Cancerian woman. So the Queen of Cups, Pisces, Cancer, Scorpio, coupled with the Chariot card, which rules Cancer. This is a Cancer woman, right? So this is going to reveal some woman to you that could really help or assist you moving forward. This is somebody that maybe you're attracting. Maybe somebody that's attracted to you. Maybe somebody that you are attracted to. And then you've got the Page of Swords again, right? So first of all, you had the Page of Swords with the King of Cups. So this is somebody that, the King of Cups was somebody that's kind of saying to you, listen, you need to get it together when it comes to your resources. You need to be more serious about what you're doing. And then you've got the Queen of Cups coming in, potentially an international connection that's saying to you, okay, how do we change and adapt your strategies to how you are viewed or how you are seen? You could be having a lot of meetings or input from people that really kind of blow your mind or make you change your outlook to things or your approach to things. So look out for your Queen of Cups because she's going to be beneficial for you. I'm going to be really honest with you. She's right next to the Page of Swords. She's intense, right? And like I said, Pluto energy is not light and fluffy. So just, you've just seen the Capricorn. If you know Capricorns, as I'm sure many of you do, you share a ruling planet. I've got 2 Capricorn sisters. I know a lot of Capricorns. So I've seen and I've observed, certainly over the last 5-6 years as I really started to study astrology, I have observed a lot of the experiences that I've had. And, in the back of my mind, I was kind of like, oh dear, I've got all of this to come. Right? But at the same time, I understand now how I can maybe not excel with it because I'm not all seeing or all knowing. I'm still human at the end of the day, gifted or not. But maybe now I can work with it a little bit better, right? They say the mark of genius is somebody that can learn from other people's mistakes. And that's not to say that Capricorns have made mistakes, but you get my point. Now, as if that wasn't enough, Mars, the planet of energy, excitation, passion, irritation, anger, willpower, the power that comes from your, whatever you have, that's moving for you now into your 6th house, right? So you're one of the lucky ones, Aquarius, because Mars is said to is coming out of the sign of Gemini, where it's been for what feels like ever. It's coming out of Gemini and it's going to come into the sign of Cancer, which for you is your 6th house. Mars exalts in the 6th, right? The stuff that needs to be done where you have to just kind of suck it up and get the fuck on with it. That is Mars in the 6th, right? Mars energy likes to do this. Mars is a soldier. If you say follow the chain of command and this is the chain of command, Mars will get to it and it will do it. In the 6th house, Mars gets to really excel at those things. And so even though it's in its fall in Cancer, this transit for you guys, the next 6 weeks, could actually be very good. I like this for eliminating things from the diet. I like this for getting into that health regimen and regime, like in a way that, people might look at you and like think, damn, like I've seen you train and okay, you did a good job before, but now you're like going in. You've got the energy, you've got the passion, you've got the desire, you've got the willpower and the drive for it. Use it, tap into it. Finally, Mars is a severing energy. Mars is the sword, it's the scissors, it's the scalpel. This can be where you remove something or someone from your life. This might be an employee, if you've got people that work under you. It could be an enemy, a challenge, somebody that brings you the crap stuff in your work. You could be getting rid of them now. So for this, you've got the King of Wands, the Queen of Cups, and the Knight of Wands. Isn't this interesting? What this tells me is this month you've had so many court cards show up already in just these spreads, and this is just about the planets. We haven't even got into your sectors yet. And what this tells me is this month a lot of what you do has a lot to do with other people, right? Your King of Cups, a fire sign male, Aries, Leo, Sagittarius. Queen of Cups, as I said before, Pisces, Cancer, Scorpio. Knight of Wands, not only is that passion, energy, power, right? That Nine of Wands is definitely, Knight of Wands, sorry, is definitely Martian kind of energy. It's that energy of forward momentum, of doing things that you're passionate about and excited about. But the King of Wands is basically saying Aquarius has got a 10th house in Scorpio. And so usually they're kind of like the people in the background that keep everything running towards the specific vision. This is actually saying that this month, maybe you're thrust into the limelight. And with that Queen of Cups, it's kind of like how you manage your own emotions and how you channel your passion or your desire for something that you're doing is going to make all the difference this month, right? So this transit of Mars in the 6th, there's new everything coming in for you guys, and I really feel like it's going to have a profound effect on how you're seen out in the world. This is kind of like Aquarius has arrived and now we're ready to play. Okay, all right. And the fact that you've got 3 court cards here, this really is about other people. This is not a me energy. This is a we energy. Yes, you came to play. Yes, you're in the building. Yes, you're ready and raring to go. But what this really says to me is that there's some big connections that are coming in this month. All right, so be open to them. All right, so for your different sectors, for your actions and interactions with the world at large, you've got the 7 of Pentacles with the 8 of Wands and the 4 of Swords. Slow and steady is going to win the race. Yes, there's a lot of connections. Yes, there's a lot of offers on the table. And, you know, the truth of the matter is, as much as we like to believe that we can't say yes to everything. This month, my dear Aquarians, right, you are going to have the energy, you're going to have the passion, you're going to have the power to get a lot done. Absolutely. Great. Wonderful. But you can't do everything. And if you try to say yes to everything, you're going to end up dropping some of those plates that you're spinning. Streamline the focus. Be honest about what you can do, what you can't, where you can show up and where you can't. The more you are, the better this month is going to be for you, and the more effective your energy is going to be, because you're putting it in small spaces or less places where you can do more focus, as opposed to 100 things and you get nothing done. All right. For your work and studies, you've got the 10 of Swords with the World card, okay, and the 3 of Wands, right? So maybe, just maybe, some kind of work, travel, or commitment is being released or let go of. This could be where you're pulling out of something that you're not able to offer. It could also be where you're maybe setting a different tone for the community or the culture that you work in. This could be where you are looking at a longer term plan or goal and maybe saying to yourself, okay, this doesn't work for right now, or this is what needs to shift and change in order for it to be something different or something new. All right. Like, in order for you to really succeed, right, the World card, you might really need to think about, okay, what needs to be shifted here. Now, for whether you're for those of you that are studying or in some form of academia, it looks like some of you might be saying, you know what, I don't think I'm going to finish the school or the degree. I actually think I'm going to go and get a job in a specific field to gain the skills that I need to do what I want to do over the longer term. I also really like this for finding a coach or a mentor, whether you're employed or not, as the case may be. Now, I know a lot of you are probably thinking, oh, you haven't mentioned those of us that are retired, etc. There's new content of all kinds coming, so please stay tuned for that. I can't get to everything. I mean, these are already much longer than previous incarnations of what I was doing, so stay patient. I promise there's stuff coming that everybody is going to enjoy. For your love and relations, you got the the Justice card that falls on top of the Ten of Swords. You got the Justice card with the Five of Swords, and you've got this with the Page of Cups. Now, there's a few ways we could look at this. The Justice card with the Five of Swords, that's a dispute and potentially one that turns legal. You've got this with the Page of Cups. For a very select few of you, maybe this month you're having talks or conversations about what does it mean if we part ways, if we end this relationship, if we get the divorce, who gets what goes where. Maybe you're having to have some really heartfelt conversations. However, remember the Justice card is also about contracts and commitments. So this could be maybe your partner wants to do something that you're kind of like, no, babe, I don't think you're thinking this one through. And so you're having to really debate it. And maybe it's quite an emotional conversation that you're having to have. For those of you that are single, I gotta be honest with you, this is not the month for love. I think you've got so many other things that are great that you could focus on. It's like a lot of the relationships that you're having are much more professional rather than platonic. And I would probably keep them that way as well. This is not a month to mix business and pleasure, right? For your money and materials, you have the Temperance card. So, oh, nice. With the Wheel of Fortune and the Five of Cups. So I'm just going to tell you, for a select few of you, this could literally be talks about an inheritance. Very possible. Now, with the Temperance card and the Wheel of Fortune, this is a release of money or funds to you. So if you've had money that's been held up, if you've been sort of like in that space where you've been waiting for money and it hasn't come, or you've been, maybe doing more hard work already without Saturn even being in your sign, and it's in the sign of Pisces in your second house, right? And it's like, okay, I'm already having to work hard, but there's something kind of like the plug is being pulled out of a drain here, and money will start to flow easier. Now, I will say, this looks like a shorter term boost, because then you've got this Five of Cups with the Wheel of Fortune. This could be a holiday, a trip, or a journey that you had planned that doesn't go ahead, but you get the money back from. So you can put that money or that finance or those resources into something else that actually ends up being maybe not more beneficial, but it's certainly good for you in the kind of short term. When it comes to your health and vitality, for a lot of you, you could be turning to some kind of alternative therapy at the moment. I'm not a doctor. I can't give you medical advice. I don't advise that you take the word of a complementary therapist over your doctor. I do, however, advise that it would be wise for you to work in tandem with your Western medicine and your holistic therapies as well. All right, so for your different weeks of the month, for the first week of the month, you have the Death card. Endings, completions, culminations. So straight out of the gate, right? This could literally be a revenue stream of some sort that comes to an end. It could also be that you terminate a contract or a commitment of some sort. Either which way, this is a hard line in the sand somewhere. Your second week of the month, so look at that, right? A commitment is ending. A commitment, a contract. It could be a debt, that's possible. It could be maybe a job, right? It could be something like that. The Justice card does suggest this second week will offer you or bring you an opportunity of some sort that may be contractual. I kind of feel like it will be fairly short-lived though. Then you've got the Strength card. When it comes to your physical health and vitality, I think this third week of the month, you are going to be serious about it. And look at that, right? That third week of the month is where Pluto moves into the sign of Aquarius and Mars moves into the sign of Cancer. So you've got a big, powerful shift of energy at that time that is going to be, really forward momentum. And because Mars is coming into that 6th house and you've got the Strength card, which represents the body, it's almost like you're getting really committed to looking after yourself. Like, this will be the biggest push that you have in this direction this whole year. So my advice would be to use that as the initial start of it and then just keep it going, right? It's like, like the strong man. All of the biggest effort and energy that he spends to get the bus, when you see these guys pulling a bus and you're like, Okay. Right, the biggest energy expense is to get the damn thing moving. Use March as that energy, and then once it's moving, you see him as just hand over hand. That's it, right? That's it. That's the easy bit. It's the getting it started, and because you've got such a dynamic, powerful energy behind you in the month of March, in that third week of the month, use that as your impetus to get something on the go. For your fourth week of the month, you have the Temperance card again. Isn't this interesting, right? So the Temperance Death card is 13, Temperance is 14. So to get from Death to Temperance, which is the healing and the rest and recuperation that comes after an ending of some sort, you have to get committed and you got to do the hard thing, whatever that might be for you personally. All right. And then finally for your lunations, I'm not going to go into great detail with these because they are, because I'll be doing your full moon and new moon reports, okay? So this is just kind of like an overview, and the Human Design Oracle deck. So for your Virgo full moon, which for you is, well, for all of us, is happening on the 7th of March, so the same day that Saturn moves signs, right? This is going to be happening, which is very interesting. I don't know if you can see those. All right. So your full moon message is the Gate 35 and Experience. And my message about this card is always, don't take somebody else's word for it, right? So if someone comes to you and says, oh yeah, you know, you said you wanted to start a business, or you said you wanted to go to Bali. My friend went to Bali and they got robbed and it was horrible. You shouldn't go. That's not good enough. You have to have or go by your own direct experience. Now for you, this full moon is happening in your 8th house. Power, relationships, intimate relationships, sex, death, the taboo, other people's money, other people's resources. If you're going to be challenged in your own power to create your own money, right? Saturn in the 2nd, Pluto in the 1st. Why not leverage the power that you have of Pluto, that's actually the natural ruler of the 8th house, to attract other people's money, other people's investment, other people's energy. And, you know, in terms of the experience, maybe this is something where you're having to kind of say around this full moon, look, you know what, I'll build the ship on the way down, right? I'm just going to take that fool's leap and I'll build the flying equipment on the way. Your new moon on March the 22nd in the sign of Aries is in your 3rd house, your day-to-day sort of hoi polloi energy. It's the websites that you read. It's reading, speaking, writing. You've got the Gate 1 and Create. This is about being a creator. It's about being dynamic. That new moon is going to set some stuff into motion for you, whether by speaking, whether by writing, whether by finding new audiences and connections, potentially reconnections or connections in general with siblings or neighbors, or your local environment in some way. Either way, that Gate 1 Create card means that you're going to be creating something that sees you building a whole host of skills that you hadn't even considered you needed or even wanted, right? Like, you're going to be learning so much on the job from here on in. I think it's going to be wonderful for you. With that said, I wish you an abundance of all of that good stuff. Let me know in the comments. Do you love it? Do you loathe it? How does this speak to you? What do you love? What do you enjoy? And more importantly, stay tuned, take care, and I'll see you soon.